How do you spot the silver price top? I'm going to show you the easiest way. Hit the big red subscribe button to join Good Morning Stackers. My name is Joe Main. I'll put a link somewhere to my private silver investor club from only $1 per month. Giveaways, specials, much more. Here is silver on the quarterly time frame. Each candle is 3 months worth of time. This goes all the way back to the early 60s. $96.50 right now. We're making brand new all-time highs. So a lot of people go, this is the top now. This is the top. Is this the top for the huge silver run? The short answer is it all depends on where you believe we are within the phases of the market. Markets move in 3 main phases. Let me show you them right now with some historical examples. Then we'll go to the present day. Here is the early 60s, roughly, 1967 to 1980. That's kind of where most reliable data is. So markets move in 3 main phases. The first phase is the accumulation phase. This is where the smart money is getting in. Okay, it's going to be a smaller percentage of the population. Now, this isn't going to be drawn in perfectly, and again, it's on the quarterly time frame as well, so it's a bit chunky. But you can see here, generally, this is the smart money getting in. There's been sort of lower prices for a while, and then we're taking it from the 1967. You could maybe say it was from earlier, but this is the reliable data. Okay, so the smart money gets in, and then you have a bit of a dip. Now, the next phase of the market is a public participation phase. Now, this is all based on market psychology, just the psychology of humans, right? So you have an accumulation phase, and then you have a dip, okay? Accumulation, and then a dip back down. Then you get the public participation phase, and that's where some more astute people go, hang on a second, we had that move up to, say, for example, in the 60s and 70s, we had that move to $2.50, but it's back down to like $1.35. Then at some point it starts turning around, and again, we're on the quarterly time frame. I could go into the smaller time frames and show you where it turns around, but this is not that. This is just sort of the larger zoom out. Then people start seeing it waking up. And then when it breaks above around about your halfway, something like that, or it breaks the previous high, then that's the early public participation, and that's the later public participation. People are going, oh, hang on a second. Back in 1968, we're at that little rise in the price. It was probably just a flash in the pan, right? Oh, hang on, we're back above there. Something's going on. So you notice a lot of the public start to get in, okay? So that's the public participation phase, and that has a natural peak, and then it has a natural dip. The final phase of basically any market, and you can do this on almost any market whatsoever, is the excess phase. And that's where it's the mania phase. It's where, as I like to say, every man and his dog is getting in. It's where, the old school, it's the shoe shine boy or your Uber driver is telling you, oh man, you should be buying silver right now. It's like, I just bought silver, right? It's that excess phase where everyone is getting in. These phases happen consistently over time. And then after the excess phase, then you get a longer drawn out consolidation period back down to, much lower levels. So that's accumulation, public, excess phase. The next one I can show you is here between the 90s to the peak of 2011. Can you eyeball it already? The accumulation, the public participation, and the excess. The accumulation was around about here. Okay, so from the early 90s roughly all the way up. Some people say that the accumulation, you could say, was between here, and then that's the dip. You could probably say that, and I'm happy to do it that way if you want. Accumulation right there, and then the dip. So that's the smart money, okay? Then came the public participation phase. And once again, you came up, so the 1990s, right? It came up to that $7.50 thing. And then you always have that move back down, some kind of move back down. And that's people, go again, oh, that was just a flash in the pan. Then it starts breaking key levels. Okay, now once again, down here, the real smart money down here, probably the people who are accumulating down here, and the early public participation people would have seen in here a change of market structure. But once you get over that previous high there, that's when more of the public goes, hang on a second, just like before, that's broken that $7.50 mark. Oh, something extra is going on here. Okay, that's the public participation phase. Then you get to a natural peak, and then you get a dip. And then finally, of course, as you can see it, the excess phase, which was from around about the bottom of the GFC until 2011. That's the every man and his dog phase, everyone talking about it, etc. Now, the first time I ever invested in something, I made my mistakes. I didn't know what I know now about the phases of the market. I wish I had have known now I wish I had have known then what I know now. I actually bought silver for the first time in around about July, August, September-ish of 2010. I thought I was a damn genius. I thought, oh my God, I'm buying at $25. It's definitely going to head up to $50 and all that, previous all-time high. But I didn't know where I was within the phases of the market. And I also didn't know about, double tops and all that kind of stuff. Right, so we had that move to 50. Unfortunately, for me back then, I was right in the thick of the excess phase. So then I rode a lot of this down. Okay, now I know much more about the phases of the market, etc. So let's have a look at where we are now. Okay, can you eyeball it? Can you find that accumulation range? Let's pop it on. There is your accumulation range right here. So this is starting in, some people will say it starts in around about that 2015, 2016 area. Some people mark it as the low of the 2012, but within that, that $12 in 2020 of the COVID low, but within that period, it's rough eyeballing your accumulation phase. If you want to put it back to there a little bit, you can do that, sure. But I think it's definitely there because that's your move up. And then after you get your peak of your accumulation, what do you get? You get your move back down. So clearly, we are right now in the public participation phase. Okay, smart money got in here of the lows of 2016, particularly down here. Now, this was a black swan event, which you couldn't see coming, of $12. All right, a lot of smart money picked this up right here, still in the accumulation phase, got up to that $30 mark. Then you have that pullback. And then it wasn't until, you can see here, we just kind of ranged for a bit. Again, the early public participation, people saw something's going on down here, but it wasn't until you kind of broke here. Look at that right there. See, at that $30 mark where the public started going, oh, hang on. Hey, this isn't just a flash in the pan. Okay, something else is going on here. We are in a massive cup and handle. Everyone talking about the cup and handle. 45 years. Okay, from here to here, 45 years, it had not broken the all-time high. It's the only asset in the world that had not broken its 1980 high. Okay, we finally did it. Okay, now everyone's feeling really good. Do know that we are coming towards the top end of the public participation phase. Where that comes in at, I don't know, but we're getting close to the top of it. Okay, so what happens after a public participation phase? You get a pullback. Now it's called a wave 4 pullback. Okay, so that is coming, right? From where? We don't know. Could it be from right here? Could it be from a little bit higher? Okay, sure, it could. But that next one is coming. But here's what you do know. The silver top is not in because we have yet to go. We have right here the excess phase still to go. Now ignore where it starts from, where it goes to, etc. It could be much higher than here, it could be lower than here. But what you do know is that the silver top is not in yet. You are going to get a bit of a pullback coming soon. Could that be early triple digits? I think it gets to triple digits and probably that early triple digits, something like that. I'll do a separate video and you can just watch my other videos and my live shows to talk about, going into the smaller term timeframes and finding that wave 3 top. But this is just for the big macro, where's the top of silver. We are not there yet, and that's not coming till probably around about your 2030-ish kind of area. You still have the excess phase to go. Okay, so that's how you know the silver top is in, because you have now identified the different phases and where you are. We're at the top end of the public. We'll get some kind of pullback. Don't know where to, don't know for how long. And then coming into 2030, maybe slightly later, etc., you are going to get the excess phase. And as I've been saying, if you think there's a lot of hype about gold, hype about silver now, trust me, you ain't seen nothing yet. Okay, so that's how to spot the top in silver, at least knowing where you are within the phases of the market. There's lots of other methods and indicators, etc., to tell you how you're getting at the top within the excess phase. Hit the big red subscribe button to join me. And of course, join me for my live shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays as well. That's just a little primer on how to spot the top in silver. What I'd love you to do if you ever want to buy silver, which I think you absolutely should do for the longer term, okay, holding to that sort of 2030 kind of mark, I reckon you should be buying from Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au. I think they are the best bullion dealer in all of Australia. Buy from your favourite international dealer if you're somewhere else in the world, but if you're in Australia, Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au is the place to buy from. They're the only company in Australia that give you free shipping. Yeah, I know. Free shipping when you have a quantity in your shopping cart. So have 20 or more items, you can mix and match in your order and you'll get free shipping. Sign on delivery, express delivery, insured, all that good stuff. So that's perthbullion.com.au. And how did I know about the phases of the market? I didn't know this before. How do I know all this stuff now? Well, all thanks to Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com. I'm actually doing their year-long comprehensive program right now. Okay. Now, actually, I started that in July. Within the first, I think it's the first couple of weeks of the year-long course. That's the 3-month course. So you've got Tech 101, which is Dow Theory Principles and Technical Analysis Foundations. That's Unit 1 of the 4-unit year-long course. So I'm doing this, but I had to learn this first. I highly recommend that you at least do some kind of education on technical analysis foundations. And in I think it was week 1 or week 2, week 3 maybe, we learned about the phases of the market. Okay, I would highly recommend that you at least consider investing in your education. I think through Mastering the Markets is the best way to do it. And I also happen to be now, just recently in the last couple of weeks, and a new staff member of Mastering the Markets. I am an enrollments advisor. The January course intake has completely finished. That got cut off yesterday or the day before. The April intake is incoming. And if you want to find out more, you can send me an email to joe.main@masteringthemarkets.com to find out about the courses. And I'll tell you my experience. That is it. That is how to find the silver top, know the phases of the market. Now you know. Hope you found that very informative. Stay safe, stay informed, keep stacking whatever you're stacking, and I'll speak to you soon.